Northeast Ohio is home to many restaurants that serve great food, but I want to take dining out a step further and learn about the aesthetics, eye candy, and other elements that, in addition to the food, nourish the restaurant experience. Hi, my name is Lauren Wilson, and this is Beyond the Dish, where we showcase local eateries that have interesting stories to tell about the decor, history, artwork, basically everything but the food. We'll take you downtown to find out what these old tapes are doing in this restaurant. We'll also visit a chef who could be considered a mad scientist. And then we'll head to the Antiques District on Cleveland's Near East Side to see how this old house became a restaurant. That's all coming up right now, so stick around as we go Beyond the Dish. I'm here at the North Union Farmers Market across the street from our building in Playhouse Square, and throughout the show we'll bring you some interesting facts and tips about shopping at the market. But first, I met up with a chef who's fully embracing the farm-to-table philosophy, even right down to the herbs.
Oh my gosh, I love this place.
Chicken Caesar.
I love kind of the farm-to-table feel.
Definitely a really unique space.
Jonathan! Hey, how's it going?
How you doing?
Good, good. It's good to be here. Man, this is the infamous rooftop that I've heard so much about. I thought I saw some gardening.
Yeah, we got some oregano, tomatoes, and fava beans. Got a little parsley, and then we also have some plots out at my house.
And you're really about sustainability and local foods, so much so that you developed a food pyramid, right?
We're always shooting for that pinnacle, you know, local, sustainable, humane, organic. And then if that's not available, then we'll go local and organically minded. And if that's not available, then we'll go local. And then if that, you know, and so on, all the way down the pyramid. We've seen farmers sort of raise their game to the level that we're purchasing at now.
And I'm sure it does feel good to feel like you're doing your part, in a sense, for the environment.
I mean, I think for us it was a natural progression. Proximity of farm and soil to plate directly correlates to quality. I mean, which that means my job's easier. You know, if I start with good food that's supporting our local agronomy and I put it through my kitchen and put it on your plate, it's even easier if it's local. I like to think about what could I do more, not how much I've already done.
Well, you've already done a lot, especially when it comes to recycling. You put some of that in your decor downstairs in the dining room, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Can we go kind of check that out?
Yeah, take a look at the dining room.
Okay, let's go. Wow, this is very rustic looking. Now, is everything in here recycled?
As much as possible. You know, I mean, our goal was, when we opened 5 years ago, to make it feel like this restaurant had been downtown for a decade already. And part of that is piecing together things that we collected, whether it's old window panes, old barn floor, old bicycle seats, you know, whiskey barrels, on and on and on. So our woodworker and our designer sort of took all this junk, I guess. You could
One
call
man's
it.
junk is another man's treasure.
And they put it all together and they came up with the design that we have here at the tavern. In the construction of the restaurant, there's 47 antique doors used. We considered it an upcycling opportunity. It's going to be a shelf in the office or a desk downstairs.
Or a bar.
Or a bar. And you don't notice it more often than not because your feet are there, but for us it's important to sort of, you know, use as little new materials as we possibly can.
Don't you and your wife do something called like harvest the community?
Harvesting the local community or junking.
Junking?
Yeah, it's
Tell
like
me about
it's like our term for like Cleveland pickers, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or, you know, it's
What
a
is that?
combination of using salvagers, thrift stores, Lorraine Corridor, antiquing, you know, and you sort of see what you can find.
And what's up with all the bikes? I mean, I know, I've heard you're really into bikes. I mean, you even ride your bike every day.
Yeah.
Rain, shine,
snow, whatever it is.
Really? Man,
you
you're
know,
a trooper.
I'm about it's 2 years in, almost to no car whatsoever for myself. My bike workers did this Respect the Bike art exhibit about 1.5 years ago, and it went so positively that we're like, you know, we can't take these bikes down. So it's a total conversation piece as well as art.
And people can actually buy these bikes if they want to, right?
Yeah, the bikes are available for sale. I think we've sold maybe 12 since we opened, so there's a couple holes in the restaurant.
I was gonna say,
yeah.
so one day it could be here and the next day it could be gone.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well,
I mean, that's part of the fun.
And I see some VHS tapes around here. What's up with that?
I think there's a nice little bit of personality to the nostalgia of VHS. And I was thrifting one day and I saw a VHS player and a couple tapes, and I bought it and I brought it here and I plugged it in and it worked, and the remote control and everything worked.
Really?
And
so you're like, forget cable.
Yeah, we're like,
I'm
forget
going
it. We didn't want it. Yeah.
You're going retro.
That's it. Yeah, VHS. And once we changed over to VHS and we started this food trade, 50 cents for every video we don't have in trade, people started bringing in their old collections. We've probably only bought maybe 20 of these from eBay or from the thrift store. All the rest are from our customers. So.
Wow, I see. You've kind of had to make some extra space, it seems like.
Yeah.
Very neat. Well, I kind of want to check out what's going on in the kitchen.
Yeah.
And you got some herbs you got to take down there.
Yeah, take some herbs down to the boys.
All right, let's go.
Cool.
Wow, this is quite a stack. So I know that you get the whole animal and then you use every piece of it.
Part of stewardship and animal husbandry is respecting the animal enough to know where it comes from, know where it's killed, and utilize every single piece of it.
I've never really thought about where does bacon come from?
Yeah.
So while we're here, what are these?
Well, these are our beef short ribs, so they don't look that short, obviously.
No, they actually look kind of long.
You can call this also the breast of beef, or the belly of beef. So we're talking about right here on both sides, okay? And then we cut it. So when you're talking about short ribs that you see in the store, it's sort of this upper right little corner. Well, let me wipe this down really quick, and then we'll talk about the pig.
Okay.
So this plate right here is the components of our pork.
Okay, so this is like a pig in pieces.
This is a pig in pieces,
okay.
Exactly. Perfect. So what we have right here is the belly.
Okay.
This is where bacon comes from, right?
Gotcha.
Okay, this is where pork belly comes from.
Okay, so there's a lot of fat.
A lot of fat, about 50-50 fat to flesh, if not 70-30.
Okay.
So then we have our loin, and also we'll do the tenderloin as well. So if you're talking about just along your back, right before where your ribs start, that's where the loin and the tenderloin are. So then we have our skin here, okay, which we'll fry and we'll put on top.
Like pork rind.
Yes. This is our cornmeal, or our Johnny cake as we call it. And then we have rillette here. This is what we call sort of our meat butter, as it were.
And what is this made out of?
Very similar to this. It's sort of all the bits that are left over, cured and then cooked together in their own fat and then whipped up.
So this is kind of the layout of the pig. Nothing really, on a pig at least, goes to waste.
For sure.
Well, you know what? The next phase is for you to cook your favorite dish on the menu.
Yeah, I think we should do this dish so you can sort of see how all four of these disparate pork ingredients become one plate.
I think that would be fun.
Yeah.
So I'm going to get out of your way,
all right.
and I'm going to let you do your thing,
all right.
and I can't wait to taste it.
All right.
Okay,
Thank you so much.
I'll see you in a little bit.
Pleasure.
All right.
So this is our way-cooked polenta. Oh, yeah. Golden brown. That's the dish. All right, so here is our pork saltimbocca. We have our belly. We have our chicharron. We have our scrapple. And then we have our loin. I like to dig right in with the belly.
Okay.
We have a little bit of the chicharrones over top. You take a little red eye, you pour it on, and then you enjoy a nice little bite of the belly.
All right, here I go.
Enjoy.
Oh my gosh. It tastes like bacon, and I love bacon. Oh my gosh, it's really fresh. I mean, I really feel like there is a difference between, what I would buy at the store and what I just got here.
Oh,
I mean, it's just fresh and tender, and man, this is well done. Well done. Thank you so very much. I appreciate it. Oh, before I forget, I almost forgot. I have a little treat for you. I want to do my part and leave my stamp at Greenhouse Tavern. So, did you ever watch any of the Shirley Temple movies?
Yeah.
I love Shirley Temple movies.
Great
nostalgia for me and my mom. We used to watch them all the time. So this is my gift to you.
Well, I owe you 50 cents in food trade for this
video.
You do? So
okay, well,
I'm going to go get that.
Okay.
And you enjoy the rest
of this. And I'll finish eating this. All right.
Awesome.
Thanks, Jonathan. If you're like me, but sometimes I have these spur-of-the-moment feelings to just head over to the farmer's market. But then I get there and I realize, okay, I'm not quite prepared. So to get me a little better prepared is Emma Anderson from the North Union Farmers Market. So Emma, What can I not leave home without before I come to the market? What's essential?
I always bring a reusable bag. Those are great to have at the market. You don't end up with like lots of plastic bags at the end. And I like to have a guide for what's in season. You know, we're not a grocery store. We're not going to have kiwis, pineapple, those kind of things. But we do have everything that Ohio growers can grow.
Okay, so I've gotten prepared. I get to the market. What do I need to do to get the biggest bang for my buck? How can I get the good discounts?
I think you should always do a full walkthrough, especially if you're new. You don't want to just hit the first booth. You want to really get to know what's there, then make your plan of attack.
Well, thank you so much, Emma. I feel better prepared and equipped to journey through the farmers market now. And you know, as we were talking, I was thinking about various chefs that shop at the farmers market and wondering how they do it. So I have a chef in mind to talk to, but before we get to that, I want to send you to another restaurant where the chef is putting mouths where money used to be. Take a look.
I don't know of any other place in Cleveland that has this sort of environment and feel to it.
It's just a great, open, airy atmosphere. I just love it.
Good food, good wine.
It's a great place to brag on.
I mean, the place is gorgeous. And I think he's probably the most innovative, creative chef in the city.
Hey, Steve.
Hey,
How's it going? Good to see you.
How's it going?
Good, good, good. Tell me about this building.
It opened in 1925, and this was United Bank and Trust, the flagship location. Cleveland was the second wealthiest city in the country, only second to New York. This was the heyday of Rockefeller and Carnegie. It was open for 4 years. The stock market crashed, and like many banks in Cleveland, it just shut down. Walker and Weeks were the preeminent architects, certainly in Cleveland and very much to the Midwest. And they were known for Severance Hall, the Federal Reserve, as well as even the bridge that you drive across right here that has the transportation guardians on it. The first time I came in, it was totally vacant, filled with junk and dust, hadn't been painted or touched in probably its whole life, about 85 years. And the minute I walked in, I said, I have to have the restaurant here. Originally, I had thought that I would make this look like an old bank, but we started cleaning the mural, which is behind us, and the first wipe was absolute pitch black, and like we really opened a can of worms here because there's no looking back. Well, 2 days and 8 times from top to bottom, we uncovered the mural. So that evening, I'm looking at the mural and I'm basking in its glory because it looks so great, but I'm like, wow, what if Walker and Weeks was standing there going, let's make it a restaurant? And from that moment on, I asked myself, what would Walker and Weeks do? And it changed my design plan totally. Ripped up the old plans, no teller booths, no bank thing. Let's make it look like a restaurant in 1925. I wanted it to be as original as possible.
Aside from this being a restaurant, this is also kind of a laboratory, right?
Exactly.
Do you mind showing me around a little bit?
I'd love to. Let's go.
All right, let's go. So this is the test kitchen.
This is the test kitchen.
And tell me a little bit about what a test kitchen is. I mean, that's not a term you hear every day.
Yeah. Our job is to come up with new product concepts. And then we integrate it into the restaurant for testing. We're applying the discipline and the elements of science to make those products be viable for mass manufacturing.
This idea of a test kitchen and merging the two, the restaurant and the test kitchen, is really reflected in the name CROP, because that's really an acronym, right?
It is. You know, it was 2 in the morning writing my business plan. You know, I need to come up with a name. I knew that I was going to operate as the custom restaurant operation platform, and I wrote down, I'm like, duh, CROP, what a great name for a restaurant.
Right, and you have a pretty sophisticated water system, even to the point of how it incorporates into your pizza.
I'm from New York and grew up on New York City pizza. We were able to get a sample of New York water, have it analyzed at the lab. We took the Cleveland tap water, filtered it to recreate and make New York City water. That's what we used to do the pizza dough.
So you have New York water flowing through your pipes right now. Kind of reminds me of like a mad scientist who keeps everything locked away. And speaking of being locked away, there is a very large bank vault down here, isn't there?
Oh, I'd love to show it to you.
I'd love to see it.
Well, let's go check it out.
Let's go. So we just walked through the vault. That's a pretty long vault.
Yes, it is. It's the second largest bank vault between Chicago and New York.
So tell me how big this vault is, because this door looks massive.
Well, so this main door is 90,000 pounds.
I wonder how many people it took to really push this door closed, because it's so heavy.
One person.
No way.
Yep, can close this door literally and move it with one hand. It's all about the hinges, the way that the weight is dispersed. It's pretty cool.
How did the door actually close?
It's kind of like Indiana Jones. There's this one little hole, it's 4 feet deep with a 1,000-pound counterbalance underneath it. And the floor sinks down about 12 inches. Then you've got clear pathway to swing the door. In it goes, and you're locked in there.
Wow, talk about like a 007 movie. That's what it
exactly.
reminds me of. Well, speaking of action-packed, I want to get some of the action that happens in the kitchen as you get to cook your favorite dish on the menu, and I get to try it. That's my favorite part.
I'm ready to cook.
Can we do that?
I'm ready to cook.
All right, let's go do this.
Just a little bit of salt and pepper. Little julienne carrot.
All right.
Okay, so this is the seared scallops with stir-fried soba noodle, peanut sauce, a little bit of soy wasabi gastrique, and a cilantro oil.
All right, here we go. Wow. It's really interesting. It's got a crunchy from the vegetables, but then very soft and tender with the scallops.
Yeah,
wow, that is
scallop.
It almost like melts in your mouth. This has been great. Thank you so much. I think I might just sit here and finish this meal. Would you like to join me?
Maybe I'll throw another one together.
Hey, I'm down for that. Maybe dessert.
Yeah, they're even better idea.
Thank you so much, Steve. Thank you so much for having me. I'm still here at the North Union Farmers Market, downtown Cleveland in the Playhouse Square area. And joining me now is Ben Biebenroth. Did I say that right? Indeed. Okay. From Spice Restaurant, to tell me a little bit about how you shop for your restaurant. How do you gauge how much produce you need as you shop at these markets?
Well, obviously we're looking at the menus for the week. Usually we start game planning around Monday. We get a lot of texts from farmers to say, hey, this is what I'm pulling off the vines, this is what's in the field right now, and gives us an idea of what we can get locally so we know exactly who we're getting stuff from and when we're getting it. So markets like this gives us multiple opportunities to source for the restaurant without having to do it all on Saturday morning, which is very challenging.
Now, what happens when you run out of produce? What do you do?
We freak out. No, running out of produce is never really a challenge because we have so many local farms that are contacting us on a regular basis.
Well, thank you, Ben, so much for talking with me and let me get in your head a little bit. And you know, we've talked about how we can better prep for the market, how chefs prep for the market, and you know, the last thing I'm itching to learn about is how, well, farmers get to the market. And I know just the farm to go to. So while I do that, I'm gonna send you to another restaurant where they're really into the urban garden scene outside of an old house. Take a look.
The inside felt very intimate.
It makes me feel like I'm hanging out at home. We saw the chef plucking fresh vegetables. You can't get fresher and more local than that.
It's awesome. You really can't go wrong with anything on the menu.
Elise,
hi, Lauren. How are you?
Good to see you.
Good to see you. Thanks for coming in.
Oh, well, thanks for having me. So this place used to be a home.
Before my mom got it, the house was a vintage shop, vintage clothing shop a little bit, and that's when my mother bought it.
Now tell me about the process to transform a home into a restaurant.
First thing we had to do was switch out the kitchen. We had to change out the electricity, the plumbing, the gas lines, everything. And then we had to enclose our front porch. As lovely as it was, we needed it for the winter. And then also for the living room, what used to be the living room, we found a mantle place in Tremont.
So that mantle is not original to the home.
No, it wasn't.
The look of at least the first floor is early 1920s, right?
Yes, the Craftsman style era, natural. And so we wanted all the natural wood to be shown, wallpaper that is original to that era.
There's multiple floors to this house, right? And you can eat on multiple floors.
You can eat on every floor, yes.
I'm really interested to see how you transformed bedrooms and a home into a place where people eat now.
We had a designer friend, and you're going to have to explore the other two with him.
Oh, well, I'm looking
it gets
forward
a little
to
bit
that.
wilder and wilder as you go up.
Great. Well, I'll come check out you later, and I'm going to go upstairs real quick. Okay?
Yes.
I'll see you soon.
Okay.
Bye-bye. Chris?
Hey.
Hi.
How are you?
Nice to meet you. I'm Lauren.
Nice to meet you, Lauren.
I noticed that this is a total jump from that early 1900s era.
Sure.
Why such a jump in the design and decor?
You've met Felice.
I have.
Right. And I know you're going to meet her mom soon. When we got involved in doing this, I just wanted to do something that reflected that really spirited personality and kind of pick up all the kind of garden theme. But I thought I wanted to do it just a little bit more like over the top whimsical and make it a little bit more almost fairy tale. It takes a lot of understanding and engineering and all these things because you have to think about flow. You have to think about comfort of your customers. You have to think about production, how quickly they can be served, paths for servers. The most important aspect of this property is that it was a house. And as you drive up and down the street, it looks like a house. I immediately saw the barn in the back, which was originally in a garage, you know, so it had these big swinging doors and this kind of, it was dilapidated, sort of crooked, and, you know, certainly been there for almost 100 years. So let's build a bar in here and build a patio around it. So there's a lot of challenges that came.
Well, Chris, thank you so much. I appreciate you letting me get in your head a little bit.
Oh, it's been my pleasure.
And just see what your thoughts were behind the design. But I want to get outside, so I'm going to let you go.
It's been a pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Take
you.
care.
You too.
Hi, ladies. How are you?
I'm fine.
Margaret, your roots, no pun intended, but your roots are kind of in gardening and farming, correct?
Right. Well, we had a farm in Medina when I was a little girl, about 300 acres. And so I was brought up on a farm practically.
What you grow in here, do you use it in the kitchen?
Yes, we use it in the kitchen.
You didn't intend for it to be a restaurant initially.
No, I was going to put tenants in it, and then because I thought I could handle that. But then my architect said that's so boring, and I didn't want to be boring.
Oh.
So I said, what should we do? He said, let's do a restaurant. I said, a what?
Oh my goodness.
And I thought, you know, I don't think I can handle that.
Right.
So he said, not to worry, we'll do it anyway. So we did.
You live in the neighborhood.
I live right across the street. I come over and get my dinner, but in the meantime, my job is to schmooze everybody. So I talk to a lot of people, encourage them to be here, and we love them, and blah, blah. And then I go home and sit on my porch, and I watch the people coming in, and I count up how many are coming in, and then I multiply by how much I think they're going to spend, and then I add it up and wonder how long it'll take me to get my mink coat.
Your mink coat?
Right.
Now, why do you want a mink coat?
Well, I think I just need it to walk across the street in the Cleveland winters.
Ah, I see. Well, we have entered the last and final part of the segment. One of my favorite parts is where you get to pick your favorite dish on the menu, and I get to try it. And Felice, I think you picked that dish, right?
Yes, and it's called pappardelle.
Mmm, sounds nice.
It's delicious. I get it every time. Let me run and tell the chef, and she'll bring it out to you, okay?
Sounds good. I'll see you in a few.
Okay.
Okay.
Pappardelle for you, Lauren. Nice. We have some zucchini and kale, sugar snap peas, and thyme from our garden.
Excellent. Well, it looks and it smells wonderful too. I'm not going to waste any time. I'm just going to get right in here.
Bon appetit.
All right. Very good. It has a very interesting taste. The carrot, I just snapped the carrot and that was good. So it's very good.
Wonderful.
Thank you so much for having me. I've had an interesting and wonderful time here. I love being in the garden and meeting your mom. She was great. So thank you so much, Felice.
You bet. It was
I
a pleasure.
appreciate it. I'm going to finish this dish.
Go
That's
for
okay?
it.
Okay.
Go for it.
Throughout the show, we've been talking about farmers markets, how to shop and prep at them, how chefs shop at them, and now I'm at Canal Corners in the Valley View area to talk about how farmers get their produce to the market. And with me now is farmer Meg Wingfield. Tell me about your checklist. What do you need to have on your checklist before you get to the market?
So the day before the market's super important for us. It's going to be a Friday, our market's on Saturday morning. So make sure we pick everything that's ripe. The mornings are when we start picking. We regroup in the evening and we go through our inventory. We spend the rest of the night getting it all together.
How do you know when something is ripe enough to take to the market and when it needs to wait a little bit longer? What's your gauge?
When it comes to the tomatoes, this isn't a ripe tomato. You can take it off, but it's not snapping off comfortably. But if you take a tomato like this, where it's nice, it's dark, it's deep red, and it should be able to, you can just take it right off the vine.
It just snapped right off.
Yeah, so this tomato's good for the market. We can sell this. Tomato's ready.
I think I want to take a stab at picking. Can I do that?
Oh yeah, it'd be a huge help.
Okay, that'd be
awesome.
great. I can help you guys with the market. Well, while I try and do that, I want to send you to one more restaurant. The chef in this segment, he got his inspiration for his decor from the metro parks. Check it out. It's in a little segment we like to call our side dish.
I'm Chef Carlos Castro. Welcome to our bistro. So I always wanted to be a doctor, but that didn't work out. So then I decided to open my own place.
The food is very fresh.
From the decor to the food, we're trying to be more health conscious.
It's really heavy in flavor.
A little bit of the Cuban fusion and flair.
Here's your Cuban panini, ma'am.
My decor, inspired because of my lack of funds.
I love what they've done with the decor. It's definitely got that earthy feel.
When I used to take walks at the metro parks, I saw all this kind of reusable material. That's how I got basically all the ideas from all those lamps and all those light fixtures.
It's pretty casual, laid back, but it has kind of like a vacation kind of feel.
All right, Meg, I picked 7 tomatoes. I feel pretty good about that. How did I measure up? How did I do?
You did great. You look like a natural.
Well, thank you.
Natural farmer.
Yeah, well, thank you. I got farming in my blood. Thank you so much for being with me. I appreciate it. This is fun. We'll have to come do it again if you need any help. All right?
Thanks for visiting.
And thank you all so much for being with me. From down on the farm, I'm Lauren Wilson. We'll see you next time.